Unemployment is an old man, so that's the whole tricky though.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm with Jerry.
People that smack while they eat.
Definitely psycho.
Like it's something that
So I started like when I was 15. I started hustling, trying to make some money. But I started
saying that y'all know about these benches, but she didn't say benches.
No, she said it.
What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Apartment 4A. Thank everybody for joining us today. How everybody doing?
Blessed and highly favored.
Doing good, man.
Good. It's good.
I'm all right.
You ought to be all right. You know, all that noise you talking last week. I start off on the good foot.
Because we got cheated. I don't look like JP. You saw the replay. You know we got cheated.
Y'all got cheated, lost by 10. I understand.
Hey man, take this. All right.
No. West Point got an opportunity to bounce back to Friday. They got Starkville, I believe. So,
man, that ain't no bounce back game. that's a put you more in the mud game.
Hey, man, y'all beat Starkville. It's like okay, it was a fluke.
Oh, we beat Starkville. You might as well send us to the ship.
You can prove that was a fluke. Y'all beat Starkville. By the way, Madison Central did pull one off barely, 50-12. No, we barely got out of there.
Man, who y'all played?
Mighty Jaguar.
Who y'all played? Jackson Preparatory.
West
Hey, don't sleep on Jackson Prep now.
Oh, hey, man, my cousin-in-law used to coach there. They was all right.
Yeah. Nah, we played West Jones.
I think West Jones won a couple. They won a couple championships in the past 5 years or so.
They went. We beat them. We beat them.
They won one.
They won one.
Hey,
and they went probably go like every other year though.
That's right. We beat a championship team. That's all that matters.
It doesn't matter. They were 4A or 5A, but we still
don't matter. That ain't our problem.
Put that on record. As long as you beat a championship team, good.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we appreciate everybody for taking out. Hello to everybody that's watching. Like always, you can find us here on Facebook and YouTube at 9 o'clock. You can listen to us at any time on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. And please, if you have some free time, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Just like you're doing on Facebook and YouTube. We'd love to have your comments and and everything else. So today we have a interesting episode. This episode is about the city of Jackson. Several of us have stayed in Jackson at some point or another. We have a little bit of roots. A lot of us may have family in there, and a lot of us do business in and out of Jackson. And so now Jackson is in a crisis. In the last few years, they've been dealing with some infrastructure things. Back in 2013, they got with Simmons, and they tried to get new pumps and new pipes and stuff down, and that just didn't work. It kind of messed up a lot of stuff. They were ended up taking money from them or whatnot, and then they kind of got that taken care of and taken back, and then we had a big freeze down here, and it exposed a lot more pipe bursting and things of that nature on top of the potholes and stuff that we have down here. It just made everything even worse. So now we at a point where it's flooding, and that flood is causing the treatment center to bag up. Is stopping water from actually getting to the residents. We have about 150 residents in the city who don't currently have running water or have little to no pressure. The stores are running out of water everywhere. They're having water banks, and they can't get enough water to the residents in enough time to have a pump coming in. And I think they heard today that they actually installed one pump to kind of fix one of the issues, and that pump is having issues now. And so now they're waiting on another pump to kind of help with some of that. The city's going through some things, man. So the question is, to start it off, how or why are we here? Why is the city of Jackson at this point?
Bad leadership. Very bad leadership, and that's the simple answer, but the complex answer at the exact same time. They do not put the money in the city at all. Where if they start working on these issues years ago, it wouldn't be at this point now. But they, for some odd reason, they keep overlooking the basic things. Mm-hmm. It's the roads, it's the pipes, and then now all that stuff that's been going on for 20 plus years. Now you have the floods, which causing even more issues, or you have a freeze, which causing even more issues because they haven't fixed the basic stuff all this time they had the chance to fix it. And the fact that it's the capital of the whole state, where all the money flows through Jackson, it's sad that they can't let the money stay in Jackson to fix the basic those basic issues.
Yeah. Well, I remember you talking about this at one point. Is there a difference between fixing the roads and fixing like the actual infrastructure, like the pipes and stuff like that, as far as like the money? Because I remember you saying something about Jackson can get money to fix the roads, but the money for the pipes and stuff have to come from somewhere else, or something like that.
Well, that whole process, they can get money. The only thing is getting enough money to fix the roads properly. They got to fix the infrastructure up under the roads, because a lot of roads, that's the problem. You got water leaks, and over time, that one thing about water is got to go somewhere. So even if it's a small leak, that crack gonna grow and grow and grow, and they never have a solid base under the roads. So if you truly want to fix a road, they got to go in, dig all that up, fix the pipes, go back over, lay a solid base, so you actually have a stable road. And that's kind of like what Terrence was saying. Over the years, it was like, they're just putting Band-Aids on problems. A lot of times, go out, put asphalt in a hole, go out, fix this here and there. But in the long run, it's going to come right back. And now, so much is built up. Like, it's hard for, like, every day, if you look at the news outside of talking about crime, there's some issue going on with the infrastructure in the city. Something is breaking down. Over time, that stuff at some point is gonna break down. You can't just keep putting a Band-Aid on. And with the water issue, like Rob was saying, it went from a pump to now, the water treatment plant is down. So basically, the filter for the water system in the city is down. That's why they put out about the raw water coming from the reservoir, this and this, because they basically can't filter it, they can't clean it. So, and with that, is once again with the money, they saying they didn't have an operator out there. Now I don't know how true that was. They said like over 160 hours, they didn't have a operator, I think out there at the plant to really run it. But then people saying they got all these open positions. At the end of the day, they posted that public works employees supposed to get raises. They're supposed to cover some of these jobs with a lot of the vacant jobs that they haven't filled. So with Terrence, the piggyback off what Terrence said, the leadership, but at the same time, it's hard because they haven't been consistent in the leadership. That's the issue I see. Because even like now with the mayor, it's not definite that he's gonna get another term. And let's say he doesn't get another term. That's a new mayor. He's gonna bring in his people that he wants to head up these departments. Because if people don't know, department heads are not under civil service. They are at the will of the council. So each time when it's time to renew jobs or for directors or heads of a department, they had to go through an interview process. You had to go back through an interview process to see if they're going to keep you on for your job. So with that, when you bring new leadership, they bring in their people. And honestly, it takes it's almost like a job. You start your job in year one, you truly not doing your job. You still learning. Year two, you may be doing what you're supposed to be doing, but by year three, you really kind of getting into it, getting the swing of it. And that's how it is with city government. They don't keep if you don't keep a stable base long enough to really work and build those relationships, you're gonna keep starting back over. They keep going back to square one, square one. And then just outside of that, you got so many other factors in the city of Jackson that it's a lot. It's a lot.
And that's true. And I think some of that, they shouldn't allow. Well, the leadership that was there before, way before Lumumba, should have been looking at some of the issues and saying, "Hey, let's fix something. We can't just continue to let these things happen over and over again." But I just feel like people just kicking the can down the road, just kicking it down the road. And now we here.
And now ain't no road left.
But then, I mean, it's like I say, it's a lot of factors because then folks like, well, fix this. You got the money. Then at the same time, City of Jackson is losing a lot of its tax dollars because you got a lot of people that's moving outside. Yeah, it's going outside of the city, so they losing that solid tax base of funds. So now you got to go out and recoup, find other funds. So it's a working in that world. A lot of people come to you. It's easier said than done, especially when you ain't got the resources. But like you say, over the time, it should have been working towards some goal. They should have had they got a comprehensive plan, but they should have had a solid goal to start fixing these little problems at a time. Because to fix them all you got to chip at it. You got to try to make some progress somewhere. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
So, Willie, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
So, who, like you said, the mayor and all that, is it somebody else who can kind of like initiate a plan, or it has to be from like the mayor or the council or something? Because, like you said, the governor.
Now, ultimately at the end,
dirty water, Jackson.
Woo, that's what he said. Then. Don't drink the water. Don't say it like that, man.
He said, "Can't even brush your teeth with it."
He said, "Don't brush your teeth."
Better boil
water.
I said, we have no type of communication here. He just got on.
And it's crazy because you would think, Jackson is the capital. And so you would think the governor would work with the city of Jackson better than he is now. I mean, look, they have separate press conferences. The city has a press conference. The state have a press conference. Y'all can get together to show united front. Can't even do that.
I agree, but not under the current leadership
regime. Yeah.
And if it does happen, you're gonna see a lot of tension.
That's crazy, man. Like you work in the city every day.
And see, and that's gonna be the problem. Like JP, like they were saying, the state can step in, but as a mayor, he's not gonna want the state to step in, and overstep their boundaries because he's trying to. It's complicated because even in the situation, the mayor doesn't have the power. The council has the power. You feel me? And that's a part a lot of people don't get.
And that's the issue right there. Yeah, that's the main issue. Yeah, they fight each other before they fight anybody else.
Exactly. And you got different forms of government. You got a strong mayor, you got a weak mayor, and then some other type. In most of the cities in Mississippi, they have a weak mayor form of government in which the mayor is really just the spokesperson, the figurehead, and the council makes all of the decisions. So in the mayor, he just like what's going on with the garbage trucks, which I'm sure we'll get into with that situation. He can come in and a mayor can come in and veto it, but the council can come back and vote
some form of fashion.
I'm about to say something about Jackson State. They might not want to hear that neither.
They don't cut air completely off. They're like, you ain't even in the state. You can't say nothing.
They knew Ed with the tech guy. He gonna try to help. You got to take out the tech guy first.
They can put it completely out.
And then chop them down.
They coming for it.
That's all bad. I don't know what happened there. Eric, I think we can hear you, but your camera won't even come back on. Oh yeah, they cut off all your Amazon devices, all your Google devices,
I know, right?
all your Apple devices, because apparently the government is listening. They say cut the internet off on them guys. They talking about infrastructure and money. We ain't doing that.
Right. That's some big topic.
Well, I appreciate everybody who stayed with us. Welcome back. But as we was talking about the infrastructure and things that's going on in Jackson, Mississippi, again, we all have at some point probably stayed in Jackson, Mississippi, or been to Jackson, have done stuff in Jackson. And right now, Jackson is in a crisis. There was a water crisis, and my prayer. Oh man.
What was that?
Y'all hear the echo?
Yeah, it was loud for a second.
Yeah.
I think you're good now.
And so my prayer is that we don't turn into Detroit. I mean, if you remember their crisis up there with the water being brown for as long as it was, and they were up there telling them, "Oh, it's safe to drink the water." Like, who's gonna drink brown colored water? Nobody's gonna do that. And so we don't want to become that. And, I'm not trying to bash Detroit or nothing like that, but we should learn a lesson from them and kind of jump on it as soon as we can. But just to kind of give us some more, the state of Mississippi received nearly $75 million in infrastructure funding. The only issue with that $75 million is it's for the entire state. It's not just for the city of Jackson. And the way that money is, sent out or allocated, is yet to really be determined. And the city is going to need some help. In order for this to truly work and truly get fixed, they're going to have to get some help. I think we were just getting ready to start about some of the things the state could possibly do before the state cut us off. So what should they be doing first? Should they look at overhauling the local government in the city? Should we put some blame on the state? Should the feds be coming in and taking over, or we just got to buy time and do our best?
The sad part about it is you can't overhaul the local government.
Yeah.
Unless you got federal charges on them, and that's the only way you can overhaul them. If they're not breaking any kind of federal laws, they are. If they keep doing what they're doing and getting voted in, that you can't do anything with them.
Yeah, you can't overthrow
the federal government and the state government have to basically just watch it fall and crumble before they can do anything about it. And I think that's what they're doing. They're looking for Jackson to completely fail so they can come in and they can buy up all the cheap property and bring back life to them.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely the approach that they're taking. I mean, because they're literally, you look at Jackson, they're pulling all the businesses out, and that's where you really get a lot of your tax revenue from, are those businesses. Like private residences, like the little property taxes they're paying, that's not enough to run a city, especially in Jackson State where they need to do a lot of infrastructure work.
Then again, they got pretty good property tax over there. They charging $1,000 for a tag.
So hey, look, I paid that $1,000 for the tag on my Camry. I've been there, done that. But the thing is, that's still nothing compared to like having like a strong, business and retail presence there in your city for that tax revenue. But yeah, I think that the only way that they're really going to be able to get out is they got to get some, like Rob was saying, got to get some assistance from the state and even federal as far as infrastructure money. I think that one thing they could do is basically at a state level, kind of, if they do give Jackson some money, like earmark it for certain things. Like, hey, this money is specifically for infrastructure. They can get more, granular than that if they want to, but basically, like, you have to show us where every dollar go, and it can only go towards infrastructure stuff.
But the sad part about that, they're stubborn. They want to. If you tell them how to use it, they won't use it at all. They'll let it sit there.
Yeah.
That's how stubborn they are.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Barack Obama had his infrastructure money coming to Mississippi, and they didn't even touch it. They didn't want none. Turned it down. I'm like, Mississippi, turn it down. What?
And so you took down money back 10 years ago. Now you have these issues now, but you haven't even addressed these issues now because you'd rather watch it fall than to help it.
Yeah. Really? I'm not. I can't speak too much on that money stuff because I do deal with the city of Jackson. I'm not gonna speak on that, but from what Rob was saying, kind of how I would approach it right now to kind of fix some of it. Right now, the biggest issue they got to get the water treatment plant back up. So they got to get a certified operator. They got to get maintenance, and then to build up on that, they got to get consistency within these positions. I think what they're doing now, they've had a lot of vacant positions that they've had posted for a long time. Don't know if they feel some or they just kept them on the site. But like I say, those monies that you have allocated for those positions, take that money and use it to maybe you can get a raise, or you can take these 3 positions and consolidate it into one to get a qualified person that can do that. But that's another thing. You gotta look at who they got, who they's running. Like the waste, your water treatment plant should never be in a situation where it's gonna just be completely shut down. Because as we see now, you got more issues. They just had flooding and now you can't get water. That doesn't make sense. So I would tell you they gotta start off small internally. They gotta build up a good employee base, qualified. You gotta compensate the people, and I think that's really where it's going to start at, because they do got some really good departments. I don't know a lot of people. I know some people that work there. I know some people that work in the planning department, and the ones I know, that's a good department. Good. Actually, the planning director, I think she's been promoted over public works during this crisis, because I think the public works director, he got demoted to assistant, and they put the planning director over. Yeah, so. And she's a good. I think she came from somewhere in Jackson. But yeah, she's good people. So they got good people down there. You just gotta spread that wealth across all departments. And what I've learned working in city government, public works is one of the most overlooked departments. But when something big happens, it's the most important department. Yeah. You got a water main break. You got a wastewater treatment plant down. You got sewage bagging up. You call them public works. Yeah. So you got to have qualified workers, and a lot of times public work workers are underpaid so bad. So it's hard to get the good qualified people, or people that just want to come and work hard. It's because like I used to tell folks with city work, you can't pay bills off benefits. It's good, but you need a paycheck. So that's where you got to start there. Yeah, in my opinion, because like I say, they don't want this, because the state come in, everything that y'all said about earmarking money and doing that. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna earmark that money. It's gonna be checks and balances. It's gonna be, you ain't gonna be making a move without the state being involved in it. So if they don't want to get to that, it's such a battle.
So as far as all of the work that needs to be done, is that all are those all city positions, or are they bidding out to private contractors?
They do both, and I say it depends on the quality of workers you got in your city. Because sometimes I worked in, let's say when I worked in Hattiesburg, they had their public works. They did some road repairs, some road work. They had some people on staff that could do that work. Now Jackson probably has some too, but they can do it on to a certain level. Once you get to those big projects, or when those big funds get involved, they're going to start bidding out those projects, because the city just ain't got time. You got so much other stuff they got to do. They don't have time to go out and do it. So they're going to contract the work out. So yeah, it's a little bit of both. Now what's going on with that water treatment plant, I think that's within. I think that's an internal thing. I don't think they didn't contract anybody out, though. All those were city employees that they had hired down there.
Yeah, in the water treatment plant, it's just a lot of repairs. Like right now, even now, they're bringing in a pump that they're going to rent for emergencies. So they're not even fixing anything yet. They're getting to a point where they can function, and that's just and they have to get something fixed as soon as possible. If not, they're going to extra money renting the pump.
Yeah,
and so it's a big mess, and some of you couldn't account for because nobody knew that their flood was going to come. Nobody saw that the flood was going to come in and basically put them in the area where they couldn't get to the water plant. I mean, it was so much water, they couldn't even get in there to see what the issue was at first into the water crest. And so,
but that's not a good excuse for Jackson. The reason being is because the way it's set, they have rivers all around it. If they would have did something with that issue years ago, they wouldn't have these issues. Like the Pearl River that runs through it. If they would have blocked it, if they would have diverted it, or they would have built a better levee system for that years ago, it wouldn't come to this point. But any big rain, the city's going to flood every single time.
Yeah, some of that flooding is because of. Well, I don't really know exactly how that reservoir system works, but they have to pump so much extra water down there, and that don't help either. They have a 70, I think it's 70 million, maybe it might be a couple of $1 billion project where they're trying to widen the river banks and build like a lake system to kind of help with some of that flood. But even that's gonna take money,
money and time.
Yep. So it's rough out here. And then, between them trying to fix the water, they can't even decide on who's gonna pick up the garbage. I mean, you know what I mean? What are you supposed to do? You fighting yourself about who's gonna collect garbage. In the meanwhile, you got infrastructure failing, got treatment plants going down. I mean,
so what's the garbage thing? I hadn't heard about that.
So they their contract with Waste Management ran out, and they just felt like Waste Management was charging them too much, or they didn't want to renew that contract. For what I understand in the beginning, and so they put on a RFP to find services. Mm-hmm. Now, the service that the governor wanted to use, which is Richard, the board didn't approve. The board said, no, we don't want to use them. But Richard was the lowest bid, but that's not who they wanted to use. So since they couldn't come up with a conclusion on who to use, the mayor decided that they just going to use Richard. And he did like I won't call it a personal contract, but he did a personal city contract with them. But the contract ain't valid because it has to be approved by the board. And so they started picking up the garbage. They've been picking up garbage for months, but the city won't pay them. They won't pay them because they don't have an official contract.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you get around that unless somebody's gonna cut them a check.
And so basically, when they turned it down, the mayor went and vetoed the board decision to get them to start picking up. And then they went to court, and the judge said, "Well, mayor, you can't veto the board decision not to hire them, basically." So now they fighting over. I think now the mayor is he trying to get the judge decision overturned? Like, it's crazy.
Hey, what they do to him, man? and that's like a personal vendetta right there.
But the sad part is the city council the board is not trying to figure out, not trying to find somebody to replace them. They rather fight the mayor than to fix the problem.
Yeah, and that's the issue. Why they taking all this time going, we're not going to use them. We're just not going to use them. So the question is, who you going to use? You're not going to use them. That's fine. Who you going to use? They don't have no answer. It's like, well, wait a second.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. That's asinine.
Up and down the road.
Yeah. That's why there needs to be a fail safe. If your job is to get some stuff done or maintain it, and they go to crap, they'll be able to get you up out of there. Get somebody else.
And this is the part that hurts me. That we, both them men, we see how bad of a job they're doing, but we believe their lies every single time and do nothing about it. If you keep voting these fellas in here every year, every 4 years, every 2 to 4 years, and you see the horrible job that they're doing.
Yeah.
You have any respect for yourself? Do you really care about your city?
So my question is, what type of competition do they have for these positions?
Zero.
I mean, so that's kind of an inherent problem. You can't vote for people that ain't there. So,
I mean, there's people that run. It's just, people tend to vote for people they know instead of,
even though the people they know does a horrible job, and they'll come out, they'll feed them, they'll do a block party right before election, right before election. That's the last year.
All right. Now don't talk about that man in Hansburg serving y'all fish.
and they'll get on TV and cuss out the mayor, cuss out everybody around, cuss out Rankin County, Madison County, right? Call them all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, you keep voting them in. That fella been in for at least 30 some years.
Good.
No, you talking about Benny Thompson? He the one you need.
Kenny Stokes.
No, Kenny Stokes. You talking about Kenny Stokes? Kenny Stokes. All right, he'll get you shut down for real. So Jonathan, I know you've kept up a little bit with the crisis and things that come through Jackson. I mean, you've been up here a few times with stuff got turned off. What do you think? What do you think a solution for Jackson could be?
Hey, so I'm just coming in, so I don't know what all y'all talked about. But I will say that I talked to some people who love Kenny Stokes, Taylor. You can't knock out Kenny Stokes. They love Kenny Stokes. They from Jackson. He keep it real. He put it down like it is. He tell it like a TI is. The same folk probably like the old mayor too. Whatever his name was, breaking into folks' houses. But I really hadn't kept up with it like I should. So I've been listening to y'all talk about it. So is school in right now? The schools are out, right?
No, the school is in, but they shut down due to the water.
Yeah, they're virtual. They're all virtual.
They are virtual. Okay. So is it just all Jackson, or is it in towards your way, Rod?
No, just right now, the city of Jackson, they just have little to no pressure, and because they can't filter the water that is coming out, you can't use it for nothing without boiling it for a couple of minutes. So it's basically useless. Basically, any restaurant that's there, if they don't have bottled water, they pretty much shut down. They can't do nothing with the water that's coming out.
But still, if they only got bottled water, I still want to eat at the restaurant. Now, we've been there one time before when something was going on with the water, because the restaurants, we didn't go to another restaurant because they was using bottled water. And I don't know what was going on during that time.
Probably the freeze and the water got messed up. But if the restaurant they can filter, if they can have a filter system for their own water, but the pressure, the thing is, the pressure is not strong enough for them to have any consistent water at all. So they can personally filter their own water and have it come into the building, but the pressure's so far off, they can't even. It's like it doesn't. They can't do anything.
Yeah, when your governor come on TV and tell you don't even brush your teeth with the water, nobody won't go out there and eat it or drink it. JP, what you think, man? What you think a solution for the city of Jackson?
I don't know. I believe the government has been watching our computers pretty much. We ain't never had this money. Many times we'd have been jumped off and kicked out. So I might need to keep my mouth shut. So I'm gonna ask some questions. like Willie, I know, like you said, you worked with it. What's the role of a city planner?
A role of a city planner is to lead the development of the city per se, but like it depends on the city. Like Jackson, your planning department is split. You got economic development, you got community development. They also handle code enforcement. So you got several different divisions. Now, planner in itself is to enforce the city's comprehensive plan, which is the guideline for the city to develop and to build upon. I think Jackson just redid their comp plan maybe last year or a couple years ago. But that just outlines the development of the city, as far as expansion, zoning, things like that. Now, infrastructure and things like that, that's gonna fall more on your engineering, public works department. So luckily that don't really involve a lot of the planning department.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I just didn't know, and
That's what we're here for.
I mean,
Till they shut me off again.
I like the text with definition where it look like you just looked it up straight off of Google.
Well, I do have a master's in it. I did work in it for 6.5 years. I should know something about it.
It sounded like he had some interviews, and that's exactly what he said.
Well, had a lot of them, man. Had a lot of them. Hey, you got to be ready. You got to stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready.
If you're ready, you ain't got to get ready, man.
Do the governor stay in Jackson, or he lives on the outskirts? I mean,
so he does stay. Well, he does have a residence in Jackson.
The governor.
He said it yesterday that he actually stays in Jackson. On the better side. So. But the thing is, they work in Jackson. They're in Jackson for so many hours out the day, and just everything they do is in Jackson. So they're now at a point where they can't do nothing in the city. You really can't expect people to come to work without running water.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't expect
violation.
people to do that.
Yeah,
and I don't know, some organizations or companies bring out porta potties and stuff, and that's only gonna last for so long. After a while, folks ain't gonna do that. Nobody want to.
They're gonna get tired of it.
And the issue is because we have I work in the school, and we have a plan for if we have a water issue. We have no water, and the basic of the plan, you have to have porta potties for every so many people in the building. And you also have to have 2 bottles of water per every so many people in the building. Now, if you can't get the porta potties and you don't have the water because there's a water shortage, you cannot have them in the building. You can't even allow them to be in the building if you don't have those basic things, being able to use the restroom and being able to have at least 2 bottles of water for them to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, so that's a serious issue, and I mean it's going to affect some businesses more than others, especially. I don't know if y'all may have talked about it while I was cut out, but like the food industry, restaurants, this and that, water is a key part of their operation. So it's really going to take an effect on them. So it's hard to operate.
And then it turns to a domino effect. You can't have the restaurant's not open. You don't have no tax revenue coming in. You don't have people are not going to come to the city because they can't eat in the city. So now it's going to be folks.
That's just like I was talking with some guys earlier about how it's going to affect like even like Jackson State, and like I know Dion came on talking about things he's going to do for the team, trying to put people up in hotels, this and that. But recruitment wise, that's going to affect you because people will be like, well. I'm not gonna send my child to this program, and they constantly because they gonna keep up with the issues like they had this problem, and now they can't get the water issue fixed. So it's gonna hit you in several areas.
And see the part that we're not talking about is when there's chaos in the city.
Yep.
And there's no leadership, and everything is being shut down. Crime is gonna shut up. People gonna start breaking into places more often because you're not occupying those places. So now crime.
You right about that, no?
Homicide's gonna shut up, and it's gonna go. It's a horrible cycle.
Oh yeah,
it's snowball effect, man.
Yeah, when that water go out, man, things get crazy. I remember being in Hattiesburg after Katrina, and it was August, and the power was out, and things were still kind of civil. They cut that water off. Yeah, man, it was a wrap. It was.
So I got a terrible
country. It was Mad Max Thunderdome around that thing.
Yeah, without no water, you can't make no ice either. So it's hot. People can't cool off.
You definitely can't get no ice.
I mean, the
And
power
dude
was
got
out.
shot because of no ice.
You couldn't make ice anyway. The power was out.
Well, I mean, you really whatever little means you had
Everybody knew the
of
secret.
cooling off, they gone with no water. I say it like that.
Go ahead, J. Key said a question.
I got a question. Yeah, y'all might have talked about this already. So what is Mayor, what is his name? Chaway, whatever his name is.
They say
Chuck
Lamama.
what?
Chuck
Lumumba.
Way.
Chuck Mama, or whatever his name is. What is his solution right now? Is he giving y'all any kind of solution right now?
My name Bennett, and I ain't it.
So right now, the state and federal government is starting to step in, and so he's basically just leaning on them for some help. I mean, because for the most part, his hands tied. He don't have enough money. I mean, the Simpsons. I can't remember what it was called. Siemens. That company really messed the city of Jackson up. That was like a $90 million project, and it caused people to get wrong water bills and stuff. And a lot of folks just went years without paying water bills because it was wrong. And so that was revenue they did not get for years, and not gonna get it. They asked the government for help about that, and they vetoed that bill. They just not gonna get that revenue at all.
They tried to get it back.
Oversight.
They tried to get that money back from the citizens, but they won't.
Yeah, because I'm sure Siemens probably has some sort of contract deliverables that.
But they won that lawsuit against Siemens, but that money ain't going.
It just but the money they got back for that, they had to fix what they messed up.
You're right. Yeah.
And so they had no water revenue money to even fix problems with just as a normal city would have. They missed that.
And really, man, to tell you, like the water department in the last city that I worked in Horn Lake, like the water department was like their own entity. Like they made so much money off of what they did. Like they operated on like a separate budget. They like the city could borrow if the city was in a bind, they could borrow money from the water department, to fund certain things. But yeah, so yeah, when you missing out on those key funds, it's gonna hurt you because then you're gonna try to start pulling from here and like you say, like where we at now, they need the outside help. So yeah.
So does UMC, what is it called? Is it UMC?
The hospital.
Yeah, the hospital. So do they have? Now I know Far General have their own water tower and all this type of stuff. So do the hospital have their own water supply there?
Yeah. Hospitals got
like a major hospital there in the middle.
Yeah. They have
hospitals.
Yeah, hospitals have to have like
they got their own water and power.
Yeah, they got to have like double the backup on power and water before they can even operate. So,
but the medical center, which is a subsidiary from UMC, but still under the city, their water was shortage, and they
I saw that
put out where they had to bring in water tankers just to keep the AC running. You can't without AC and not doing this time.
Yep.
And see, my thing is, it's embarrassing for the state of Mississippi.
Oh yeah,
but like we all agree, like what you saying earlier about how the city and everybody not taking time to do what's been wrong 20 or 30 years ago. Sometimes, like you said, the governor, them guys should just step in, and we really should make Jackson right before we move on to anything else. And just because that's the capital, but Mississippi, and its history, we'd rather be at outside and just keep everybody in, and that's
now from a maintenance standpoint, just school maintenance. Since I've been in a school district, school maintenance, it's so hard to try to get stuff to plan for stuff, preventive maintenance when you're already doing a lot of maintenance right then. So I can understand, Jackson have had a lot of issues, so they probably have spent so much time just doing maintenance on this and that and that. And they ain't really had the time or the staff to really do preventive maintenance on stuff out the way, and then it comes like this, and then it just shows.
You right about that?
I agree, J. Key, but my one thing, as I've gotten older as an adult, I've realized there's some stuff you just ain't supposed to fix. Like some stuff you just gotta buy a new one. Like you can't keep fixing the same thing. You know, I mean, it's just like you had a car. If your car kept giving you trouble, eventually you just gotta buy a new car. You can't
car give me trouble one time, I go trade it
in. You don't take away no time.
Car need tires to trade in.
But that's the thing, you know. But I agree. You know, trying to fix everything from a maintenance standpoint is very difficult, especially doing preventive work. But at some point, some stuff just had to be replaced. Yeah. And I understand they don't have all the funds that they have to do what they need, but some stuff got to just be put at a priority.
They have some funds. It's up there with the upper level people.
Well, well, they have some trouble because some of the money they came in is for infrastructure. So you look at it like, what do I fix? Do I fix the treatment plant? Do I fix the pipes? Do I fix the road? Do I pay the police officers? It ain't enough money to do all of it.
They definitely ain't paying the police officers because that's seeing what they make.
Well,
that's what they started off with. They about right around.
That's why I say the situation is tough. When folks say, "Why you don't fix this or why you don't fix that?" Because okay, let's say I come in as a mayor and y'all are my staff. Okay, what we gonna fix? We gonna fix the infrastructure. We gonna go up on the pay on the police. We gonna fix this wastewater treatment plant.
If you pay the police, they gonna make sure everything is safe, and they gonna make sure the business is gonna stay here. You don't get your money.
All right, boom. We gonna pay the police. We gonna up the salary. We gonna up down the police.
You gotta fix the water treatment first.
Yeah, you gotta fix the water
okay. So you a public work man. You say we gotta fix that. Now you take them. Now we got them two people. We had to meet. Yeah. We had to meet with the director here. We already got a class. We got a class right now. So currently ain't no money getting spent. So we fight over what the money and JP about to say we got to send the money somewhere else. Come on.
No, this is what we do.
See, here we go. This is
what we do. And this is gonna solve everybody's problem.
Yep. Come on.
I'm gonna call my friend who got this outside source. And we gonna hire him to be a consultant to see what's wrong with the water treatment plant.
That's exactly what we've been doing for the last
got right now. We gonna pay him.
That sounds like a disaster.
Got right.
Oh, I'm telling you right now.
He's gonna give us a 5-year report on what the issue is. At the end of the day, he's just gonna tell you what the issue is.
So my deal is right now. What actually is Jackson fix? Because if you say infrastructure, they include roads. I ain't seen no roads that Jackson really fix.
No,
maybe I'm overlooking them. Maybe I'm overlooking.
Fix road in Jackson,
but State Street been horrible as long as I know.
They fixed a big section of State Street. They really have. But it's a longer process because you can't just fix the road without fixing the pipe.
They'll fix the road without fixing the pipe, though.
No, they not.
That's the problem.
Now, that last.
The sad part is when all this, they have a plan and they know they need to fix the infrastructure before they start fixing the road. But when election season come around, what they're gonna do? They're gonna make the road look real pretty. They're gonna put a whole lot of money into that. Say, hey, this is what we've been.
They're gonna put that asphalt. They're gonna put a little bit of asphalt. Yeah. But see, that's why. But see, that's why I say it's so hard for an administration to come in one term. But this his second term, man.
I think it's not going to be third term.
This is second.
This is second. Yeah, this is second. But it's hard because for one, you don't see the unity. You don't see a lot of people working together. Like you say, I would figure like when this happened, when the crisis happened, first thing you want to show is unity. Like we all working together, we all on one accord. Like we were saying earlier, they had a joint meeting. A joint conference, press conference with the state and everybody like we on one accord. This is what we want to do. Boom, boom, bam. I feel like that makes the situation look a little better. Makes you look like you at least trying to develop a plan. But everything is so disjointed. You got the stuff with the council and the mayor. You got that whole show, and then but then you want to spend money. Like the money ain't gonna get spent because they can't agree upon it. So it's just gonna keep rolling over. Then you got another term. And then if you got the same thing, the same people, the same council, the same mayor, you're gonna go through the same stuff. And then if you switch mayors and switch council, like I said, you're gonna start back. You're gonna start back at square one. And it's just consistency.
So why if the state and by being right there in Jackson know these issues, know their problem, why they just won't declare the city of Jackson a state emergency and get it fixed?
They just did that.
They did it for the water. For the water treatment plant. They did it for that. That's why we're answering J. Key question. That's what they're doing. Like right now, I'm pretty sure the state stepping in. I'm pretty sure the mayor and the governor, they sitting down trying to get a plan. I mean, the first thing they got to do is get some people down there to see what the issue is.
Let Kenny Stokes run everything. He'll get it done. I feel like he'll get it done.
Look, Kenny Stokes run a small section of Jackson. He gonna run the city.
That man running. That man run the city.
Kenny Stokes.
I guarantee you one thing: they may continue to vote him in at his position. He'll never win the mayor. He'll never win the mayor.
If he did, what a show to be.
Or even like you doing the state emergency now, and it has more and bigger issues. Why they just can't drag it out to a 4-6 year program? I mean, process, 8-year process.
It's too long.
Yeah,
you
covering.
Can't pass his time in office, and he don't want to then pass the mayor time in office. He wants to do it he don't want to have something that goes too long because he only gonna be in there for so long, and he don't want to go past the mayor time because he want to have control of who the next mayor is.
It's the same operation. The state ain't. They're not going to invest all their time into fixing all the problems in Jackson. But like you say, folks working on re-election. Folks, they got their own agenda. You feel?
Yeah.
Hopefully the other cities around. I know some cities have more support than others, but hopefully they are at least paying attention because the next thing you need is for your city to start having problems.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I saw that notice Ridley put out.
I did.
Ridley said, "Hey man, we ain't got nothing to do with that water. that ain't us. Our water's good. It's been checked. It's certified.
We check our water routinely."
Ooh, y'all throw a shot.
We got vacant buildings, so if y'all want to bring y'all business over here, we'll love to welcome y'all over here.
Hey man, all I'm saying, they gotta do something, Jazz, because my mama called me thinking I got all the issues, and I said, "Mama, no." Mama, like your house flood? No, Mama, I'm not in the flood. Mama said, "You got good water?" I said, "Yes, my water is fine." She said, "Y'all got crabs?" And our crab ain't bad. I'm like, "Mama, I'm not in Jackson."
I get the same thing. Because most people don't know the cities around Jackson, so I be getting texts and calls. Hey, y'all good? Like that's all south of me. We straight.
Oh yeah, they good. They got their own water out there.
Yeah, your mama told you make sure you stay away from.
Huh?
Your mama told you make sure you stay away from low bodies of water.
Hey man, that's some good advice, man. People getting dragged up now every day. And look at me, I'm still standing, still strong.
Don't be scared of that water, man.
Hey, man.
All you gotta do is learn how to swim. You be all right.
That's my plan. It's on my bucket list.
Hey, yeah, you got it, man.
But I appreciate the motivation.
How many of y'all know how to swim? Now we talking about it. Yeah.
Hey man, that ain't the topic for tonight. We talking about Jackson.
Hey man, depending on that water situation,
I'll probably keep the bucket if I go swim.
That's a good exercise, man. Great full body workout, good cardio.
That's probably why I don't know how to swim.
Yeah, so silly.
You gotta swim long either.
Nah. We the whole family. My wife, she can swim. My son, my oldest son, he started taking lessons back though. Then we started moving around. So when we got back here, we had got signed up at the health clinics here. But it was like right when we moved, and then COVID and all that. So we both get re-signed up again. Hopefully next summer. It's gonna be a family thing.
Yeah. Tan said he had to go. You know, it's 4 a.m. where he is right now. So he's trying to get some sleep.
What Terrence is?
Terrence is in
Kenya.
That's right.
In Kenya.
What?
Yeah.
He said he forgot to tell us on last week that he was leaving.
He just forgot to tell us he was going to.
He said, "Hey, he said, hey guys, I forgot to tell you, I'm in Kenya."
Terrence so used to being over there in his motherland that he's telling
like it's going down the street. Oh yeah, I'll be right back.
That's the problem. That was breaking up the internet. Terrence been on there in Kenya, the waves, stuff wasn't flowing right.
He said he'll be back Sunday, so he'll be back. He's leaving Sunday. He'll be back in the States by Monday morning.
That's what's up.
We'll say a prayer for Terrence and safe travels.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, we appreciate that good conversation. We appreciate having Willie on since he's been working with lots of cities and different infrastructure, so he can kind of give us an insight on the money they can't spend.
Exactly. What they fussing about this time?
Can't or won't spend.
Well, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, same thing. Same
result. Now, if they're looking for something to spend it on, I got this house note. You know, it's just here. They can.
Hey, I'm telling you, more than welcome. Spread around.
More than welcome.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, man, it gets spent. Y'all, when the city council, they put it all in the agenda when they had their meetings. It's getting spent.
You know, that's probably something, you know, especially as millennials, we should probably do more of is attend a city council meeting every now and then. You know, if you think about the people that go to them typically are older. And a lot of decisions are made at city council meetings, and we be like, who decided to do that? If you go to the meeting.
I used to tell folks all the time. Even with me, like I don't go to them. Clinton, they'll put, you can go to their Facebook page and view it live. So I go, not every week, but probably every other week I watch it. But when I was in that world, because I used to get so many folks coming to my office. Hey man, when they went up on the water bill, hey, when they did this, I'm like, man, they voted on it last week in city. They have to put a notice. They put notices in the paper. They tell people. I tell everybody, just come to a meeting. Come to a meeting, or just go. You know, just because, like I said, a lot of decisions are made at city council meeting. Now, Jackson city council meeting, they're a little wild, but you know,
they are.
You can make it.
You know, bring your popcorn. You know.
Oh yeah.
But see, a lot of it now they don't even, because a lot of meetings. They kind of cut down on you kind of hearing a lot of the details, because they'll bring topics up, but then they'll executive session. They'll go in executive session. They can go in the back and discuss it. Then they'll come back out. They'll put a motion on the table to vote. You know, without, you know, so that's kind of how a lot of stuff be operating now.
But as a resident, you know, when they come out to vote, you still have a right to say your piece. So
hey, yeah, you still got it right as long as they give you, they give that open flow to speak.
Yeah. So you know, just think about it in your city, wherever you are. You know, take some time out to attend the city council meeting. You'll learn at least what's going on in the city, what might be coming, what might be leaving, new taxes, and everything. So you know, take some time out to do it.
Yeah, they showed us that's a smooth water increase here.
Hey, man, I tell folks, whenever your city, when you start getting some nice new buildings, or you start getting some roads redid, or the money comes from somewhere. Check your bills. Something has went up. I promise you. They doing a lot of Clinton just went up. You know, I think they went up on the water and the trash bill, but they got a lot of development going on. So I mean, it's to expect. You know, it's expected. But yeah, like Ryan said, I would recommend go to meetings, go down to your city hall, man. Just go see because it's a lot that goes on downtown, and then your city hall building. You know, don't be afraid. Go ask questions. You are a citizen. You have a right So all the information that are in those buildings is public information. They don't want to give it to you. You can always submit a form. So yeah.
So we appreciate everybody taking some time to be with us, especially those who are watching online. If you have any comments, please feel free to put those in. Next week, we're going to switch gears a little bit. These last 2 weeks, we've been talking about local politics and things that have been happening out in the world. But now we're going to go into something that most of us just kind of like to chill and relax with, and it is officially NFL season. We're going to have live right here our draft. So if you want to join our draft, just go to our Facebook page and you can get you a team before the slots run out. We're going to do our draft live right here. And y'all can see me pick the winning team and watch them fight for second. That's great. Yeah,
I'm the reigning champ, though.
I'm the reigning champ.
No, you're not. We already discussed it. Let's not try to show out for the crowd.
Oh, boy.
I won the last. Right, bring up the footage.
No, we have.
Right, bring up the clips.
No.
Also, fellas, if you do don't forget that we are going to support our teams and we'll make our predictions as well before the draft starts. So wear your team gear, whatever colors they are, wear your team gear. If you have a jersey, do that, however you want to do it. Also, college football is starting this week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Week 0 was last week. Week 1 is here. And so I will tell everybody that's watching at some point on every episode for probably the next 20 weeks, we're going to mention some part of football.
Oh, yeah, got you.
So if you ain't a fan of football, maybe skip the first few minutes. But no, we appreciate everybody. We'd love to see who your favorite teams are. If you have teams, please put them in the comments so we can tell you how bad they're gonna do. I'm just saying, man, this the year. This the Vikings year. We're gonna win.
Yeah.
Win. On that note.
Yeah, it's getting a little late, ain't it?
This the year. See, this the finally nobody's talking about us. That's the it's always a team.
Nobody really talking about y'all. No other
y'all got a geriatric team.
We got one. We got one old person on the team.
Y'all got like 7 cousins.
I thought the Vikings had disbanded.
Yeah, they did.
John, we don't even know who your favorite team is. Don't even.
Everybody knows my team. Don't do that.
Next time they're gonna win something.
Jonathan watched one football game every 3 years. He's gonna talk about my team.
Eric, I don't appreciate that. Eric.
Hey man. Anytime I get to kick down the Patriots,
gotta take
y'all ruin many seasons for me.
Yeah.
And who running them now?
Say what now?
Who running them now?
Who running them or who ruining them?
Who ruined them now?
Oh man, look, you can't win no quarterback.
Y'all got Matty Ice.
Hey man, I agree. You can't win without a quarterback.
Nah, man,
you ain't got no team.
I think he's
the 49 or something.
He's a Bengals fan this year.
Hey, pick a finger.
No.
He's 49.
Would you say the line's looking pretty good?
Yeah, I think he's a Bengals fan this year. He like the Bengals. They just went to the Super Bowl. He cheering for them. We'll find out who his team is next year after they lose the Super Bowl. It's all good. They ain't got no quarterback either.
No, I know it.
Hey man, I keep a spot.
Yeah. I really think I got the best team out the bunch this year. So I ain't gonna speak on that. Y'all know.
You
Hey,
have a team.
Do y'all got a quarterback?
What? We got the quarterback. What you talking about? Famous James?
They got 2 on the roster.
We got Famous James and backup. We got the Red Rocket.
Yep.
Hey,
No,
niggas just names don't mean nothing,
man.
man.
Y'all quarterbacks ain't got no type of nickname.
I'm just gonna put this out there. Every year, 2 teams who I always feel like it's their year. There's the Cowboys and the Saints. And every year,
that ain't the Saints. It's the Cowboys, 49er fans. It's always their year.
You might have the best team out of the folks on the call now, but the guy that just left, his team a little better than y'all.
Yeah. Per se. On paper.
Technically.
I mean, you want to be
look at
technical
stats and all that stuff.
all that. But just hard. Hard.
Hey, you win a lot of games.
Hey, I'll say this. My team got the best little uniform, so it don't even matter.
Y'all do got a nice little fresh blue going on over
where
there.
that blue splash off their white. You know, something about it, man.
We gonna love to see it green after hit that grass.
Hey, man. Hey, you gotta get dirty, man. Unless you ain't playing, man.
Hey,
If you ain't playing, you ain't gonna never get dirty.
I'm glad I know where the money, Mississippi money went to now. I'm glad we're talking about this. Brett Favre took all the infrastructure money.
No,
He better get it back from him.
He took his money from the kids. He didn't take it from them.
Okay.
Yeah, they took their money from the kids. That's like, ooh, now we don't want to talk about this. We really gonna get cut off.
Yeah, because we most of us went to Southern Miss, so we can't.
Oh, hey man, we gotta get that volleyball court back.
Every
grain of sand, and net.
Then the turf, the paint, the intramural field.
Oh, hey, when we got that, I was like, oh, USC got some money. We turned the practice field.
Yeah, they got some money.
Yeah, they did that. They did that.
But this is it, man. Southern Miss to the top, first game in the Sun Belt Conference.
New conference, yes, nasty bunch.
Nasty bunch on deck. Hopefully, we get a couple more wins in this year. Coach Hall. That's Coach Hall. Hopefully we can get it together.
Yeah, we're gonna see how it go. I got faith.
All right. Well,
this week is Liberty. Next week we beat Miami. Let go.
I'm down. I'm with it. We can do it.
I ain't
Don't make them type of faces, man. We can do it. We can do it.
Fight, man. Miami ain't that good.
You know what I'm saying?
Who they got? Could be one prospect.
I don't know none of the players on Miami team.
No.
Sound like they're gonna catch this L then.
L City. The Eagles shall fly.
That's right. Well, like always, we appreciate you guys. Until next week, hopefully everybody join us for NFL week. Like always, you ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here. Bye.
Hey.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I got my own ring.